Hello everyone, so today we will actually be continuing off from where I was in the last part, where I was looking at the settings to rebind some of the different keys, and that's mostly just to help figure out like what the kick command was, as well as everything else, and it was actually very nice. And so here in this part we decide to go, well, I decide to go back to base and do a little bit of inventory management again, and we'll see here what I was actually trying to get. And I think I wanted to go and get the rifle here, but that one didn't allow me to actually zoom in, so what will end up happening is I'm just gonna have to have pinpoint accuracy from a distance while I use it, and it will make for a very interesting experience here.
I say they just want us under their thumb. Look, I'm sure Miss Weston has plenty of honorable folks working in her little army. But like they say, I got no problem with the fist. It's the head that throws the punch.
Fuck those network cowards hiding behind their radios.
And here I go try to use the revolver here and the blade to go and just to shorten out and roll out the horde there. And then the Pharaoh came after me right when the Haven device actually activated, but I don't think the Pharaoh was getting targeted by it. And then there were some of the zombies, I think they were still affected by soft skin, so maybe that's what they were. Then the Pharaoh finally got hit by the Haven device, and I think it actually got taken out.
I have to rest.
It was at this point I actually went to go back to base. And then I turn around again, try to take care of some of these zombies in the area.
have to be careful around freaks like that one.
And then here I actually decided to be a little bit stealthy to try to find more screamers and just plague zombies in general who I could pretty much eliminate with any type of range attack to complete the bounty. Things how I'd already completed the second one to get the RC9 police carbine, and that seemed pretty interesting there. And then the feral actually vaulted over, so we got that going on there. Then I got it. Try to help alt out a little bit as he was actually getting surrounded initially here. The Juggernaut was actually trying to get in, but it couldn't. But there were at least a couple of screamers and a feral in the area. After I had just eliminated one right here. And then I see another feral there, so, well, actually the screamer there, and I was able to eliminate it with the rifle weapon there. And then the Juggernaut decided to come around, so I decided to go through the building, which in some cases could be a mistake, as you can see, if I allow myself to get surrounded. Otherwise, I just try to throw like I did there. I try to avoid the load of gas. Especially since if you can get infected, that would almost be like almost instant infection right there. On the blood plague bloaters. Or getting hit by the basically that AoE type of blood plague or from the Juggernaut, it would also cause it, or even just regular scratches from the traditional or the regular blood plague zombies here could also have a chance to cause it. So it's not nearly as common as with the kind of blood plague miasma type of war going on there. And then here I was actually trying to avoid the initial numbers there. As you can see, there's like a bunch in front of me, a bunch in the back. I try to space them out. But then another screamer went in the building, and it ended up stunning me there. I wasn't too worried about the stamina running out since it usually comes back fairly quickly, but I knew I had to take care of the screamer. Then I got the infestation cleared there, which was actually pretty monumental. Then with the Magnum, with the Magnum revolver, with only the 6 shots in it, basically in this chamber there. It was actually hard to actually keep him off of that, even though it's what I had. I think it was what I had the most ammo for at the moment. I decided to bounce it out with the blades, and then I tried to throw. Try to see how effective it was with the scroll button grapple and scroll up wheel throw. I try to put into action here. And that was a bit of a challenge there. There's a bit of a challenge there, especially if you try to give yourself the challenge of not using any healing items at all except for what you find out in the world. That would be a prime example of how that might go. Especially without any stamina regen items as well, since they're kind of in the same boat, where the use of the cooking items, you might not be able to cook them, and you might not be able to make the medical items, especially if you don't have an experienced doctor. So you wouldn't even be able to make an infirmary 3 or make those kind of health kits anyway, that are actually really good. But also in Lethal Zone, it would be more expensive for the upkeep overall, especially with the reduced amount of influence that you would actually get, as well as the increased cost of everything, influence-wise, as is apparent with the definitive lethal settings. And here we are doing some more of the inventory management, and I went to go just grab a few more supplies before heading back out, and then we go and see what I was gonna go do next. And here I was checking the different areas there where the main plague heart was, and maybe how to get the infestations cleared up so I could actually start getting outposts for the resources to be able to start getting generated. And then I'm going to try to get the Plague Disruptor, which would be very useful for clearing out the...
Take that screamer out from a distance.
It'll be more useful for clearing out the Plague Hearts fairly quickly, especially if you're doing a speedrun type of gameplay where it'll last at least, I think it was like around an hour and 20 minutes or an hour and a half. So that's actually plenty of time to go, and as long as your curveballs aren't too bad during that time, like having Bangernomics, that would actually make completing, clearing the, well, it would actually delay the overall process of clearing out the plague hearts in a timely manner. And there, it was good that Bangernomics ended. Wait. But it actually turned out to be okay because now I guess it's over, as it had said, and then here I try to clear target mark a little bit from the ink station. That was the Juggernaut actually, I think, banging on the walls on the other side. He goes around the corner, and then we actually end up dealing with him near the front of the store at this corner here, where Alton and I take him out. Tried taking the Juggernaut out with some blade use, and just as I thought it was going to take a little while, the soft skins curveball, the positive curveball, ends up ending, and because the my sword there actually started getting damaged, I was going to actually switch to the rifle there, but then I was able to get the Juggernaut down, and I was able to give it a, you know, a swift takedown there, and it was actually very good. And I even got an achievement out of the deal, actually a couple there, which is also pretty nice since they're the ones that mentioned being in dread or nightmare level, but since this is technically lethal level, it will actually register it for you know, that difficulty. And here, Alt and I will be heading back to the bounty broker, so there will be a quick time lapse here, about 5 times speed until we make it, and then we go and collect the next 3 tasks where, as you'll see, I will try to do the bounty missions where it will require the use of shotguns to take out zombies, a number of zombies in general, as well as taking out 2 Juggernauts with shotguns. And somehow I was actually able to complete those when the Haven device actually triggered on the Juggernaut, and I thought the Haven device actually finished off the Juggernaut, but apparently...
Hello, my friend.
And it was actually okay because it turns out that it actually counted my hit against it. So I guess, I don't know if it's because I got a hit on it with the shotgun and then the Haven device finished it off, or because maybe I had actually done it and I just didn't realize it. But I guess I'll see here again in the replay here.
Yo, heads up. Found a couple of things while I was out.
And then we go on to another quick time lapse here where we end up trying to complete more of the other missions around Providence Ridge, where Alt and I had to actually go and try to help the Enclave here with the zombie horde that was here.
Okay, have a good day then. You should know, my team's very experienced in dealing with zombies. If you like, we could thin the population around here for you. I can't say for certain.
And it was actually at this point where I had actually grabbed the zombie that was on the chain, but then it actually respawned, and there it is at the back. And I bring the mallet with me as the initial replacement for the Echo 1 Wraith Blade, I think that's what it was. And then this was the wooden board I was talking about in the last part, where you could jump onto the bus, and for the certain Enclave bases.
Would you like to trade?
Yeah.
How about we see what we've got?
Yeah. And so this is when we end up coming back home,
and we did some inventory management with we did a little bit of inventory management for the smash wagon, as well as so I was too far away, I wasn't in base yet, I couldn't heal. So once I got into base, I could then go and use it. And then I did a little bit more inventory management to change out the other firearms I was using. And I switched to the 2A shotgun, but I actually switched between 2 or 3 overall just to see which one actually is better suited. And what better time to go, you know, night hunting except at night. Now, not only is it night, but it's also a little bit foggy out. Then a bullet goes off, or 2 actually in the distance. There are some armored Zeds around here, which actually are part of the other bounty missions around here. And here I also try to practice more throws. I think there are also like 2 or 3 ferals that actually come through here at one point. Try to avoid the bloater cloud there. And this is where I was trying out one of the stronger shotguns that I have, but it wasn't very... it didn't have much spread. It was a bit too contained. It was like a shotgun hitting mostly just one target, which wasn't very good if you get surrounded. So I was watching out for that feral, and there's actually a horde of 3 ferals. So what better way to try to deal with them with a shotgun? I was able to get rid of at least a couple. Got the lucky dodge right there. And then I got the second barrel there, and I think there was one more left somewhere. Yeah, I think I heard it running around by alt somewhere. Yeah, he's right there. And the screamer right there. And then I forgot to actually bring a melee weapon with me because I ended up storing it away, so I ended up being stuck with just my close range weapon there. I mean, not impossible, still doable, but not the best to do in lethal zone unless that's the challenge you want. This is how it might play out. was just super critically low. It was actually useful just to have that little sliver of HP left from the It was nice to have the passive HP increase from the fighting gym at the fire station. That is actually packaged in with the Prescott fire station initially. All you have to do is just repair it and then you get it. And so that's where it was actually a kind of a close call there. Probably one of the more intense moments there, but you know, as you can see, maybe more challenging, maybe more, you know, unique, or it would bring more, I guess, life or flavor to the game challenges. And then I do more inventory management here, and I ended up actually, I think I tried to actually get a melee weapon this time, but I don't remember if I actually grabbed one. And then it turns out, I guess I didn't even grab one at that point, but I go for the blunderbuss that you can actually get from the bounty broker, the one that I got back in Trumbull Valley during the previous difficulty level that I was on before I went to this map in Providence Valley. And it was here where I was actually able to get the credit for eliminating the first Juggernaut, but I don't know if I actually eliminated him with it. See? And then it said he was already completed, like it already got the first one counted, and now I just need one more, but I didn't get the finishing shot on him. And then there's another feral.
Okay, go for the head.
And then here I only have my close range weapon as well as the shotgun and the revolver, and that's literally just all I had. But this is around here where I decide I want to change the shotgun that I'm using, because this one just didn't feel like it was quite right for clearing out all the hordes. Unless there's a way to actually increase the spread on it, but for this particular shotgun, I don't think it actually accepts any muzzle attachments, so it is what it is there. Yep, and Celine saying she's over the moon is actually pretty on brand for her because of where her name actually comes from. So that's actually pretty befitting. And it's here where I actually decided to change to a different shotgun, and then I wanted to go and finish the missions around here and see about trying to complete the other bounties. And then in the next part, I also want to pursue destroying more of the plague hearts, so hopefully getting an outpost where I can actually get the plague disruptor, and then I'll be able to actually deal with more of the plague hearts systematically in a more efficient manner, because an hour and a half, especially in lethal zone with Bangernomics off, is actually going to be very helpful in making the round being more fuel efficient, especially since driving is going to be such a major part, especially for traveling all around the map. Like, fuel will be a necessity, so I'll probably need a way of... I'll need to have a good system, an efficient system to actually generate fuel in a reliable manner. So we will see how that goes. Here I'm doing a little bit of looting, trying to find some loot. I got the pack of food here, but as I recall, I only got 3 food from it. So I'm thinking I might go and devote the large plot on the so what I will do is actually get the large farm plot instead of the smaller one, and then I will use the mod that I got from Tessie back then. So it does require the use of plague heart, or the use of plague samples as fertilizer. So that was the one biological research that she was working on, and then that's what she was going to use to actually restore Trumbull Valley. And then here I go out in the meat wagon here and I wanted to kind of demonstrate its special ability where literally, like, it does waste fuel just to shoot out meat out the back of the van doors. But it is useful as a looting vehicle where it has almost over 20 slots, I think. I think it's almost comparable to the Wizard Mobile. And then there I just dropped meat because initially I thought maybe it would function as bait, but it doesn't actually. So, I mean, it just seems like a funny, kind of luxurious way of using gas. Maybe that's something that Junker did, waste the gas to pretty much relieve his steam. And this is basically going back to the point where Bangernomics actually started, and so this literally just leads back to the present time from part 3.
This is Nigel Meredith from Red Talon, reaching out to all you survivors out there. Like you, we've taken losses.
And then here there is actually a flag heart in the house that I wanted to see if there's a way I could seal it off with the van, and there are too many openings zombies could get into, so this will be one of the flag hearts that I'll have to deal with at a later time once I get more resources and specific distraction measures. Maybe even with a flag disruptor, so it'll also help prevent other flag hearts from activating, or it'll help also prevent the flag hearts from activating upon their, you know, them being eliminated. Then here it actually ended up taking a mirror off, I think, and then I lost the door at one point. So I decided to just go back home, leave the van here because I had no acceleration at all. As you can see, it was a struggle driving it, so I had to leave. Had to go and turn the light off, and then yeah, as you can see, it has it's a high capacity vehicle, so it's actually very good at dealing with. It's actually very good at loot. But now that I can't, back in this part where I couldn't actually utilize the vehicle, I had to literally go out and travel on foot. So here I'm trying to make the trek all the way to the I tried to actually go and do some night hunting to get just to work on the bounties, the older bounties, and then I had to run my way back and forth between home and the bounty broker up until Bangernomics ended. And that was actually over the course of almost a couple hours before it actually ended. Actually a little more than 2 hours, because overall when it had started, it started in this part, which is about 45 minutes, and then the first part of this is pretty much where it's almost 52 minutes and about 29 seconds, and then the first part where it was almost about to end, that was actually over an hour and 4 minutes initially. And then with the time-lapse edits, it ended up shortening the time down to about 38 or 39 minutes, so I could actually get some good savings there in terms of time on the video. And then here I'm just trying to stealth some zombies in the slightly less dense areas. As I make my way closer to the bounty broker, I can just do it on the way there. I figured I may as well. Then there's a feral. Yep, there you go.
Hey, remember that little task I had you working on?
Then here I try to go and deal with the plague horde here. And that's where I actually completed the first bounty. I'm just collecting as many plague samples as possible so I could actually make plague samples. I mean, I can make the plague cures for whoever needs it, or I can just use it purely for the fertilizer for growing the food, and it'll actually help with the food generation. If I recall, I think that was one of the features of it. And then I went to the settings here to go and actually see if I could change some others. And I wanted to actually see where the kick was, I think. So I pretty much changed. That's where I actually changed the throw mechanic there. So I changed it to wheel up and to still have the space bar as the default. So I could choose to grab it with the middle mouse button click and then hit the space bar, or I could just, all in one go, I could just use the middle mouse button to grapple and then do at the same time in the same motion, just scroll up and that'll actually throw it in the forward direction, which I found made sense in this case.
I can't outrun that feral.
And in my experience, it actually turned out much better. And then here I'm just doing the flying attacks just to break distance between the zombies here. And it actually doesn't consume that much stamina. It's actually fairly good there. Then there's another feral, where I actually had to use the gun to take it out. Dodge the bullets there. Give him the triple shot. And then here, the Hidden Project actually came to the rescue here, and as quickly as it could work, it was actually helping out the best it could in this case. I'm thinking in the next part, I'll actually bump the intensity of the negative curveballs to be mostly like all negative, and then to be the most highest intensity that it can offer. Then I got hit by another horde of 3 ferals here, 3 blood type ferals, and then I had to see how I could deal with them with what I had.
Stay away from that call.
And then the Juggernaut was there too. Then I actually get stuck there, so I had to actually... I actually got stuck there, so I had to go see what was going on.
Right side, I managed to salvage something useful from the truck. Until we build more storage, we can expect more supplies to get ruined like this. On the bright side, I managed
And then
to
the
salvage something
Haven
useful from
device
the truck.
actually deals with this Juggernaut here, I believe. And I'm actually traveling light here, so with the skill set a certain way you can get it, you can actually run without consuming stamina as long as you are packed light. And they're actually going complete the 3 bounties there before I actually went to go complete the and collect the next round of bounties there. In the Haven project, the Haven device came to the rescue, got the Juggernaut right there. And here I was just trying to get back to base.
I'm back.
And then here we return home and I try to get Celine healed up again. Like the first course of action right there. But stabilizing foam is just the way to go. And I ended up not using the last painkillers there because it's literally all I had. So that's the only way I could really heal more out in the field where I'm actually away from base and I can't use the healing foam, so I'd have to bring what I have out there. And that's where I tried to enlist Alt as the follower there, or to see if I could add Bella, but both of them apparently were away from home on a mission to collect resources, I suppose, so they just weren't home. And I had to actually wait a while until the point in the previous video that I uploaded where they were finally available again. yeah, the bullet benefactor is one of the more positive curveballs that are available, and so yeah,
That's a plague
for lethal zone, I just ended up not using the benefit of that. Also because I was stuck here due to Bangernomics, so I wouldn't have been able to make it to where I needed to go to actually visit the bullet benefactor in the first place. So I was really just stuck here without really any good reliable mode of transport for almost a couple hours.
Hey there.
Then here I decide not to actually do Belle's quest because it's just to get the bloater gas, and I already have some saved in my collection because I did a similar task as this back in Trumbull Valley, where I did it for a similar enclave or vendor here, and
Remember, stay safe.
I just, decided to just leave her there at the moment, and then it might expire. Also, I didn't want to do it without any vehicle if I could help it, or I'd have to go and do it and stay nearby if there were any bloaters around. And then I actually had to go back out at night to visit the bounty broker again, so I literally had to run all the way back, and that's indicated by the 1,000 meters I have to travel on foot from here to the bounty broker, so that's actually pretty far to travel on foot. It actually took a little while, which is mostly what made this part almost 52.5 minutes.
I think I just wandered into plague territory.
But so far I was actually able to condense the overall video here to about 1 hour and 23 minutes. So just for part 4, I will just go and do a slightly longer part than usual, which is close to almost the of my standard duration parts. Which are give or take about 30 minutes, anywhere around there. Anywhere above or slightly below, that's usually the that's usually the longest duration my long form content usually is for anything really, especially for State of Decay 2. This is like the longest that I've ever done for it on the channel yet, or any game so far. And there I wasn't able to actually help out because I also did not have the vehicle anymore. I mean, I had the vehicle, but I just couldn't use the vehicle due to Bangernomics, so I wouldn't have been able to travel there. It's just way too far. And it's also a little bit too risky for survival, unless I was able to actually use the acceleration. Here I thought I could actually climb up the rocks, but I couldn't get up the terrain, so I ended up just having to dodge the way I did and just deal with the small amount of zombies here. And I did actually brighten up the gamma here for the game, so that it's actually much easier to see for viewers, and it's not going to be pitch black darkness.
Bad. Friendly. Port work.
And this was one of the examples where having my character able to be set up this way was very helpful, so I could literally just run as much as I want without running out of stamina. It was only that small amount of stamina that was used when I vaulted over the fence there, and then I ended up just, you know, it's just very helpful overall, as you can see. Then I finally made it back to the bounty broker.
Do come in. Greetings.
And so here I was actually reviewing what was available at the bounty broker. And so that's where I decided to go and pick up the range attacks, the screamers with rifles, as well as the last one that I go with. And I was thinking about going to that one or some of the Armor's Ed ones, but that would actually take a little while longer to do, especially with Bangernomics still activated, so I had to actually just try to see what I could do. So 2 screamers with rifles and 5 screamers with rifles actually worked. So I could actually get different items there. Effectively, that would be 7 zombies dealt with rifles, and then that would actually still count as a ranged attack. So that's also another way of overcoming these bounty missions. Maybe not the most efficient, as I had mentioned in the previous parts and earlier on in this particular video as well. Since this is actually just more of a recap of the in-between part. And this was pretty much when Bangernomics was still going on, right before Bangernomics ended. And this was also back before I realized that the firing type was literally burst fire instead of the single fire, which I don't realize until I was close to base. So there I was actually using 3 shots, 3 ammo per shot every time. So it was kind of a waste. Actually, here I actually did change it to the single shot there on the other weapon, and then I switched, and this one was triple fire. Because the assault type weapon wasn't a rifle, so I had to switch it to the rifle to go and get the count. Just against the screamer, and then I switch back. And at this point, because of Bangernomics, I wasn't actually able to travel anywhere, so I was actually... I couldn't travel anywhere, so I was actually just stuck doing what I was doing for the time being, so I figured why not do some active bounties and travel back and forth between base and the bounty broker, get some of that done, because trying to eliminate more zombies and plague hearts while Bangernomics is active would have actually probably inadvertently caused other plague hearts to stir up and become active. That was just one of the other wandering hordes in the area. Decided to get the bloater there, and then there's a pharaoh that I think that was coming after me. Right there. I just narrowly dodged it, luckily. Like I could hear it, but I didn't know it was actually necessarily coming for me.
Wow, people are actually listening to me. I guess I'll give you another chance.
If I take out the nearest plague heart, this should clear up.
And then here I actually decided to switch to the rifle. So I used the police sniper that I actually got from the bounty broker. And then that left just the one screamer left. And it was at that point where the armored zombie there actually snuck up on me very quietly. I didn't even know it was coming behind me. and I had to go and actually kind of watch my back here a little bit. As you can see, many of the zombies were just coming right behind me. But the coast is clear, so I was actually able to make a getaway. Now, still quite a distance to get back home, so I had to actually run quite a way. And then since I was getting heavy, it was starting to actually use stamina again. And then a pharaoh was coming after me again, I think, and some other random zombies. So I just started running into the water here, and I wanted to see if it was actually deep water or shallow water that I could just run across. But it actually turns out I could actually run across, which was good news. And I decided to actually try to be as stealthy as possible down here, just to avoid any attention from zombies like that guy. But he just came out of nowhere, out of the bushes. And then there's another one to my right here, just try to come after me. And then after that, I just decided to run and make my way over. Try to take a direct detour home. Basically from the back of the fire station is where I'm approaching from the south end. Or rather, from the north or northwestern end, I think is where I was coming from. Depending on which way I went around. It was pretty much at the back of the fire station itself, though. And I was actually able to heal up again with the stabilizing foam. It's just really the best mod to have.
You know, it's getting kind of crowded.
And that was from the Garfunkels, were the hostile enclave. They're also one of the negative curveballs that could occur in the game. And I don't know if they are going to, well, I don't know if they are actually a curveball. I don't know if they are considered one of the most intense negative curveballs, but I ended up having one positive curveball, two negative curveballs, and Bangernomics was actually pretty intense. And then the outlaws make the just buying from traders or selling or interacting with traders worse in regards to having good deals, but everything's more expensive in Lethal Zone anyway, so I just wasn't going to make any deals with traders at the moment. And there, because of Bangernomics, I'd have to run from base all the way to the eastern part of the map, whereas my base is like near the western part of the map. So that's even further away than it is to the bounty broker, which was already about 1,000 meters away on foot. So I mean, you can expect it would take very, very long. But if that curveball will, I think, remain for the duration of that time. So in the next part after this, that's one of the things I'll probably do, and deal with the other flag hearts. But anyway, see you guys in the next part, and thank you.